We're ready. Hello, everybody. Very nice
Hello.
to have our very first passion talks. It's going to be exciting just because it's the very first time, and we'll just try it out. Um, yeah, we'll have three people here. Let me just very quickly introduce them from my perspective. And then later on, they can also introduce themselves, of course. Just for your information, you'll all on mute at the moment, except for the speakers, just because we will have a lot of background noise otherwise. So that's just an easier way to handle this. So I will start with Bruno, FX.
Hi all.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, there's a lot of producers out there on paper, I would say, but you are really one of them who I think since I've known your productions and your work, I've always been very impressed because you are really one of the authentic ones. And I have to say, I'm so impressed about what you do, but also not only in production, but also in your live act work. And I've heard recently that I don't know everything of it, so there will be another next level from that. So I'm really excited about the future of that as well. And yeah, I think really think Switzerland can be very proud of having someone like you in our country, and also Shiny People really appreciates your support a lot. It really means a lot to have you on board. So thank you also for joining our talks. Really excited about what you want to say the next couple
Thank
of
you
minutes.
very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
So then the next one is Mateusz. I think I pronounced your name correctly. I really hope so.
Correctly,
I
yes.
think I think I
Perfect.
haven't done so for about 2 or 3 years. So yeah, Mr. Crocy, we met on a party by Bonsai in Ghent, Belgium.
Yes.
Actually, because I went there because I traveled after Guy Barone, like I always did, and you were the DJ after him. And usually, when I heard the set played by Guy Barone, I'm like, okay, my night is probably done. But then you followed, and I thought, well, yeah, let's just see and wait and see and listen to the set. And I was totally blown away. I was so impressed by what followed, and that's how I came to follow you as an artist, and also how this friendship developed. And then we met at ADE, and I told you about my future vision with Shiny People, and you totally understood everything I said. You thought, without even knowing a lot about the project, you will like, we just understood each other. And I'm really grateful also for all your ideas and contribution to the whole project Shiny People. Really nice, really grateful for that.
Yes, yes.
And
Everything you said, it's exactly the way you said it.
thank
Yep.
you, thank you. Yeah, third one of this trio is Aces, Frank. Well, our story started years ago when we met at the party of our mutual friend Martin Zidek. Thank you, Martin. Well, and there I realized that you are one of them, one of those who are really kind of down to earth, really into people, and you've always tried to understand what people in the scene, in the music scene, are like, how they are, and also what they like, what they need. So you talk to the people there, and I really like that. And then from there, yeah, we were in touch a lot. You introduced me also to the works of Pavel Kvaliv and Avis Fox or Lula Coma. And it was there when I realized that your spectrum is much broader than I've always thought. So it's not only the harder sounds, really interesting as well. And then, yeah, you will probably also mention that, but then we also tried out some project together, and yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't appreciate your work, but also our friendship more. And I thank you also to everything you contribute as an emotional, but also factual support for young people.
Thank you very much, Olivia. I remember this day when we met the first time like yesterday, because I don't know, this club where we played, or I played at Reactor, is one of the most strangest one I've ever played. People have no idea. This was when I came there, when the driver brought me to the club. I was like, yeah, where's the club? It was like, you know, in a small suburb, and there was no sign of a club or anything. It was in the basement of a normal house, of a normal flat. It was so weird and crazy. And also when I played, it was kind of small but very comfy and really cool from the people and the emotion and everything. But from time to time, the whole crowd went upstairs to the smoking room, and then they came back. And so I remember I was really insecure the whole night a little bit. And then I stumbled over you later on and your friends on the table. And you said, hey, Aces. And yeah, and I really liked, they came just really openly to me and said to me, we really appreciate your sound. It was so different from the sound we expected. And that was really, yeah, I really enjoyed this. And I always like to do this, to talk with people, getting feedback directly. Yeah, it gives me a lot.
Nice, thank you. Okay, so a couple of people sent us some questions to, like in general, but also to a few people, yeah, directly. So we'll try to come to those questions later on. Maybe first we can, I mean, you know that general topic for today will be inspiration. Of course, a very broad topic, but a very important one. So I'm really excited about your introductions and then also your thoughts on our topic. So yeah, why don't you just start? Frankie, maybe you want to start? Maybe we go the other way, round back,
With the
just
first
to
question, yeah,
introduce yourself, say a
please.
little bit about yourself. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm Frank Ehrlich, better known as ACES. Some say ASYS, depends from where they are. I'm into electronic music since more than 25 years and DJing roughly about also 20 years. I live in Frankfurt, and yeah, that's pretty much the basic information about me.
Thank you. So second one will be Crocy.
Yeah, hey, I'm Mateusz. That's my real name. I go by the name Crocy. I'm from Slovenia. I live in the bottom of the mountains in town Kamnik. With production and DJing, I'm probably now about 20 years old. And yeah, that's about it. Bruno?
Yep. Yeah, my real name is Bruno Kaufmann, better known under Effect in the music scene. I'm from Switzerland, and I started producing techno music in 1993 or 1994, something around that. And yeah, music is since then and nowadays just a hobby for me. I'm not really dependent from income from the music, so it's just a hobby, and I have a normally daytime job, and I live in Zurich.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. So now I think we're familiar with everybody now. Yeah, let's talk about inspiration. Very, very important topic, I guess, for producers, but maybe also for DJs. And you, all the three of you are both. So yeah, I'm really wondering what, I mean, in general, how would you define inspiration? Where does it come from? What is it? how do we as non-producers have to understand this item, production, inspiration?
Quite simple expressed, it is the moment you find a solution for something you want to do. Yeah, if it is if you want to do like a song, or you're searching for a title or something, and then the moment you realize you have something what you can really use and finally create what you really want. And this can be really, this is just input from all sorts. You know, it can be obviously music, but it can be some different kind of art, a TV series, a game, or just hanging up with a friend and have a chat, and out of the sudden you have an idea. So it's a really, really broad thing and really interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, as Frank told, it's every moment can be inspiring. So I can't say when I will have an idea. So maybe an idea comes when I'm at work. I hear a noise from the milling machine I'm working. Yeah, I did. To be honest, I did a track. I think back in 2012. I used a noise I recorded with my iPhone. The milling machine did this noise, and I recorded it, and yeah, I used it in my track then. So every moment, every sound can inspire you.
Yeah, exactly. Like they both said, Frank and Bruno, every moment can inspire you. But I'm gonna say, for me, the most three the most perfect moments for inspiration are first is nature, always nature. Second is you people dancing, please never stop dancing. And the third one is my inner peace, and that's where I get my inspiration from.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I mean, what do you mean by nature? Do you just go out and explore, and then all of a sudden you get inspired, or?
Well, a lot of times I go in like hiking with my backpack, and I bring my laptop and headphones with. And if I find a place where I feel like I'm really alone, I can even write a track there. It happened a lot of times. And yeah, that's about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can
yeah, sorry.
I was just wondering about a moment, and it's actually also a question we got. I mean, what triggers inspiration for you? Is it, yeah, exactly nature, or is it a specific moment in nature? Is it, for example, does it have to do with weather? For example, do you get inspired more from a storm than by sunshine, or the other way around? Or is it just the scenery you look at? Or
Yeah, I think it's more a scenery than just a moment or a weather, or it's everything together. I know I wrote a track at one how we say hute, like a cabin. It was really raining. I started the track when it was raining, and I finished it when the next day when it was sunshine. So it can be everything of everything, actually.
Mateusz, is it more that you find for yourself in nature, like the inner peace? You said that,
Yeah.
peace, and something like that, you are more able to focus on something, because the storm in your head and influence from distraction from all sides in nature is kind of gone when you are there. So you feel balanced and calm, and you have the ability to focus on something you really want to do. Is it this?
Well, in general, if I think about myself, I can focus a lot more when there's not so many information around me.
Yeah.
So yeah, the nature is, I get the nature as one information, and everything else around disappears.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the answer actually. Yeah.
I'm completely different. Yeah, really. I can't sit in the nature or at home on the sofa and produce a track. I need my studio environment. I need this room to producing music. I need a room to go there to producing music. So, but everyone is different. So everyone has to find his own way to be creative.
And then you just try out with your equipment, your synthesizers or whatever, and then you just kind of try out, or do you have something in your mind and then you try to put it into sound when you're there?
To be honest, the first idea I have to start a track, most of these ideas are not in the track at the end. It changed the whole track, the whole producing. It changed.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, exactly like with myself. Whenever I start a track and I think about how it's gonna sound at the end, it's never the same track. It's always goes in direction that I never planned to. It goes.
Yeah, this is a typical producer thing. I really hate this because I want to do always like I have an idea of the mood I want to create, and when I'm ending up somewhere else, I'm already a little bit desperate because it's like here's the 100% I want to reach, and now I'm okay maybe on 100%, but somewhere else, not really there, and this is always a really hard fight. So sometimes I just let it go, and then next day I listen again to it, and then yeah, most of the time I can put it in the trash and start again, but it's really hard to turn it around again and bring it in that direction I wanted to do it first. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but when I try to go just this one direction, so then I'm blocked. Then
yeah,
I can't work on that track. So that's why I some yeah, a few years ago I decide. So I do what I have in my mind and I let it go, and that works for me.
Apparently it does, yeah. You do a lot of great work, so
Yeah,
okay.
that with that I really agree, because Bruno, the track, the remix you did for I don't know for which artist, but for the Bonsai about 2 or 3 months ago, I still really love playing it. I don't remember the track, but I played it in quite some live streams I did for Shiny People.
Thank you very much.
That I really agree with Olivia.
I have a question, Olivia, but you can go first if you want, if you have the next one.
No, I'm not. I mean, I told you, I'm just like, if you or we are run out of questions, I can chip in, but
Okay.
totally happy
Because
if you
this is
start.
really, I really want to know this, because obviously we all know there's no button inspiration we can press when we need it. And have you figured out for yourself a certain time of the day or night where you are more creative than usually? Or can it be in the morning, on the daylight? I mean, now really for the production process, because I have a little theory or something which works for me the best. And I was first surprised about it, but then I got some information and it made me, it was like, okay, that's really clear, but I'm really interested to know if everybody is aware of that. I tell you later on if I have your answers.
Yeah, maybe I can start with that answer. the most tracks I did, or maybe I started them, were between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Somewhere between that.
It's no
And
surprise. No surprise to me at all. This
and the opposite of that, the most tracks I finished were between, let's say, 8 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruno?
Oh, it's a difficult question. Yeah, I'm very productive when I'm starting early in the morning. So, for example, I'm working just 80% in my daytime job.
Yeah.
So I work just for Monday to Thursday, and Friday I'm off, and Friday is my studio day. And I'm starting at 8 or 9 in the morning in the studio, and when I'm starting then a remix, for example, I'm done until the end of the day. So if I start in the morning really early, so then
I know a lot of producers who go to the studio like a 9 to 5 job, and are really disciplined with it. And I can't do it. I tried it so many times over all the years to be something, to make something creative during the daytime, and I really struggle with it. I mean, I can work on something when I have an idea. Let's say if I work with an arrangement with a roughly I have, then if the ratio, if just the mind has to do something, I can really do it. But when it comes to mood and working with sounds and sound ideas, then my emotion is changes at around 6, 7 in the late evening. And that can be go too late at night, but I have also figured out I have a core time of 3-4 hours. After this, I start to repeat and to repeat. And this is also a dangerous time. Then I can really destroy something which is good. But then I hear it too often and then I can destroy it. So after 3-4 hours, I've learned to leave it like it is in this moment and to create the next thing the next day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why I ask this is because I've learned from a doctor when you have a sickness, when you're ill, you start feeling the pain most of the time changing and more intense in the late evening and through the whole night, because the nerve system changes for every human in the late evening, and you are more sensitive with all your senses. It's like, may it be like a touch on your skin or with your ears, your eyes, everything is more intense for your body. And for me, music is so emotional. And you see it when you go raven during the night. I mean, the festivals during the day can be crazy as well, I agree. But for me, the nighttime is a different thing when I work on something. And I was curious to hear how it is for you guys.
Yeah, I can really relate on that 3-4 hours because whenever I plan my studio time is 4 hours, and let's say first half or maybe 1 hour is to prepare or just to set the mood of myself, and then later I really do the work in 2 hours, and then the last hour I just listen or find new sounds or just go to my favorite record store to listen to new tracks or something like that. So that about 3-4 hours is my top focus for making music.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, Frank. Maybe the same for us as well when you listen to the music.
I'm pretty sure. I'm convinced about it. It's just not everybody is aware of this, but it's really naturally given.
Is this the same with the current situation? I mean, or in general, in what ways has this changed? Because I believe, you all mentioned the nightlife, but we all know the nightlife is not there as it used to be at the moment. So In what ways does this change your creative work?
For me, it was actually really a little problem. I really admit this, because when I created a track in the studio, and I told you it's going dark, and I don't know, I have this nighttime clubby feeling in my studio here. I always have this imagination. I play it later on as a DJ, and I feel the breakdown, and I know how the drop should be now coming into. So I really live through the whole track, and I always have the imagination of the people around me as well. And of course, in real, nothing changed if we have quarantine or not. But somehow I had out of the sudden the imagination, the club is empty. Because yeah, you see so many streamings from people, even festival awakenings, the DJ is alone in a huge area, it's dark, nothing is there, just the lights and stuff. And I don't know, this had an impact on me. And I was really thinking like, okay, now you create this track and this feeling and these moments. And if you release it in 2-3 weeks, most of the people will not have a chance to live it through the same way I did. And of course, here and there in some regions are clubs open, but mostly, let's say like 80-90% worldwide, everything is closed. And I didn't know really how to handle with this. It was really giving me a hard time for a moment.
And how did, I mean, did you just get used to the situation, or how did you manage to get on?
Yeah, now I try to imagine that we continue quite soon again.
Okay.
And it's just like, you know, I grabbed like this, you say in German, Strohhalm. I don't know, how would you describe this in English? But yeah, I just try to focus on, it's not so far away anymore. Even if it will be at the end, I just try to live with this imagination to help me out.
Yeah, maybe I can relate to some of Frank's words. Actually, when I do music at this time, I have known that I do in two ways. It's either or the club is in my mind the club is full, or in my mind is that club is empty. I have to fill it up.
Aha, cool. Probably I can work with this.
Yeah, because lately the more music I do, it's more emotional, it's more deep. It's for the beginning of the night, or maybe the night after the clubbing night, when you go to the sunrise and you do the after hours, and it's really emotional, and everyone's floating. And yeah, lately my production sounds like that. So don't be surprised when you hear another part of me in the future.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I mean, somehow this situation is so huge, and this must have an impact on all of us, pretty sure.
Yep, exactly. Like I said, the most inspiration I got is from the people dancing. So lately I haven't seen any people dancing, and I have to think about it in my head. And Bruno, what's your procedure right now?
For me, it was not a really big deal last year, to be honest. I had a lot of time to finish an album with a rock band, and yeah, I had time to prepare my things for my live gigs. I planned when I can go to the clubs again, and Trevor, can you please mute your...
Hello.
Yeah, and when I'm producing music, I'm just in my own kingdom, so I'm not thinking a lot about what want the people hear. So when I'm producing music, I'm an egoist. I'm really thinking of myself. What when I hear now at the moment, when I'm on the dance floor right now, what should happen with the sound right now? So
Well, that's actually really a good thing too, because if you like your music, then people will like it too somehow.
Yes.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, you have to be the first one who's confident with it.
Absolutely.
That's a Swiss DJ a few years ago said to me, if you want to hear the sounds in the clubs you want to hear, you have to be the DJ. So that was a sentence what was really inspiring me for me. So when I'm going for a DJ gig, I'm playing just the music I want to hear at this moment.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and it's really great if you can change the perception. I mean, if you can, and I think you're so much into your own person and mind, and you don't switch positions all the time. So I think that's a really great strength, because a lot of people are just not enough with themselves. You know, they always kind of change between the perception of other people and themselves, and then maybe they get insecure. So if you can do it like that, I think it helps you a lot.
I try so.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe if I can ask a question to every three of you.
Sure.
Now that the clubs are empty and we can't play anywhere, where do you, what do you listen to? Do you still go by the same pattern that you did last, let's say, 10, 12, 20 years ago? Or did you find any new patterns to find new music, to, I don't know, to listen to any new music, something you haven't tried before? Maybe start with Frank.
Let's say with my routine as a label manager and producer to check promos and the latest releases of other labels, nothing have really changed. This, yeah, it's going on like it was before.
Okay.
But of course, I also checked a little bit more streamings which were online, and checked out the way other DJs handled the Corona situation and quarantine and the gigs they did. And so automatically I had another input of music they played, where I not have normally time to go all the time for clubbing, because I have to travel myself and to play somewhere. Yep. So that was, of course, definitely another new fresh input.
Okay. Maybe you, Bruno?
I recognize it myself that I'm more into techno the last few months.
Okay.
But especially listening to more techno music.
I would have expected you were listening more to chill out and melodic stuff. Yeah, because techno for me still is like, you know, I really need the energy with the full level, with the full loudness and everything on big speakers and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, because lately I have listened more to instrumental stuff, more chill down, let's say, yeah, like that. So how about you, Olivia?
Well, I have to say, in general, I don't always listen to electronic music, but this was the same pre-COVID. Now in COVID, this will be the same post-COVID. So yeah, there's a lot of different styles of music that I love anyway. And for me, this hasn't changed. It's not something specifically with COVID, I think. But I think the question is interesting also, because I'm always wondering what, I mean, if producers of electronic music always or only listen to electronic music, or is there any other kind of music they get inspired from, or maybe also in their history? What was important to them? I mean, I think we all had our story with music. Some people probably listen to hip hop. I mean, I was very much into punk rock and rock stuff. So I'm really wondering about you guys. What do you or did you listen to? What were the important music producers, songs, bands for you guys?
Yeah, maybe I can start with that. I grew up on a lot of let's say old rock, like Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Status Quo, Deep Purple, because my father listened to that. But I have to be honest, I didn't pay much of attention to that because it was maybe forced into me, and I had. Let's say about a year or two ago, I started to listen to those tracks, and I don't know if they sounded familiar to me or I really liked them, but there's actually a lot of great music in those bands. Obviously, they were rock stars, but my really true artist that I always listen to from when I was a kid until now was I have it here was this girl Mariah Carey.
Interesting.
Yeah, through her I really discovered house music, because a lot of remix did David Morales, which is who is really my biggest inspiration, maybe actually the best DJ there is, because actually I really listen to his sets, like all-nighters, a lot of times in here in Slovenia, and we went to Italy, and yeah, that's about it. Bruno, maybe you, who was your...
I'm a huge fan of Peter Gabriel, for example.
Okay.
I really like the 90s stuff from Alanis Morissette, the early stuff from Coldplay, not the actual things, but the early stuff. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of movie scores, movie soundtracks, especially Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, of course, but this with movies, I have to ask, what about Tarantino's soundtracks?
Yeah, they were as special as the movies are.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Frank?
Well, depends on how far back I should go. I still remember as a really small kid, I think I liked Sweet and Bay City Rollers. Does that say anything to you guys? I think not.
Not exactly.
But in my early teenager times, I was a fan of hard rock, heavy metal stuff. Bands like, it's really funny, they still exist. Iron Maiden or Saxon, Judas Priest, something like this. And the first move to more electronic stuff happened actually with Depeche Mode when I was 15, 16. And New Order was a really cool band as well, with Blue Monday, like everybody knows still, I think.
Yeah.
That brought me actually into more electronic stuff. And I have still the first vinyl here. It's called The History of Chicago House Sound. That was in the second part of the 80s, where acid house came up a lot. And to that time, I went regularly to record shops and bought in the past like all these albums from the metal bands. But then I discovered more and more this electronic section. It wasn't called techno to that time. That was really acid house or house, Chicago house. But yeah, it's full of acid. Yeah, Baby Ford, D-Mob. And it's especially one track I really love was from Paul Rutherford, Get Real. This guy is a member, or was a member, from Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And it's like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 minutes long acid track. And when I heard that the first time in the club, I was like, what the hell is this? That was so different to anything else I heard before. Yeah, still remember that. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned acid house, because I have this cassette tape here.
I have this. Yeah.
I
have countless of these cassettes. Countless.
Yeah, but this I actually listened to this
house music. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, nice. It's like if you check here the track list.
Yeah, it's a bit. Put it a little bit back. Yeah, now I see it. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I have on my desk to listen to, maybe for inspiration or something.
I have still this player where I can play the stuff with.
Yeah, I have it in my old studio. I still have to get it from, but yeah, I also have like I think it's old Technics. The how you say it?
Yeah, the player, the tape player. I don't know.
The tape player, yeah, the component or something from the big system, and yeah, I still have it.
I'm scared to play it because probably, you know, these old machines, they will eat the tape band then.
Yeah, sadly, yeah.
Nice, interesting. Going a little bit back in time, right?
Back in time is also especially for us DJs that are in the business for more than 10-15 years.
Yeah.
It's really nice time to talk about the back times. Sometimes we also sound like grumpy people, but
well, you know, it's just like it just belongs to our personal history, and somewhere it is in the bottom of us, and
yeah,
we still how can I say, it's still a source. It's still an inspiration source, definitely.
Exactly.
Probably not really conscious to it. It's really just in the subconscious.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember when you first had this idea of, now I want to produce my own track? I mean, this is the first time you really thought like, I want to get involved myself.
Yeah, I remember this too. I was a raver kid here in Frankfurt, and many people don't know Frankfurt was as big, at least, as Berlin in the 90s, in the early 90s. We had always a little battle with Berlin. But here in Frankfurt was a huge scene of all subgenres you can think of, from ambient, trance, even commercial dance, techno, acid, trance. It was all already here in the beginning of the 90s. We had so many producers, and clubs not so many, but there were really two important ones, and people came from all over the world to them. It was, Dorian Gray. It was based in the Frankfurt airport, so many people were able to go there just, at the weekend, on a Friday night or Saturday. And it was always open till the next Sunday midday, and it was really crazy. And I really lived this very intense for a couple of years. And I was, to that time, like a accountant manager in an advertising agency. And after one holiday, I was awake in the morning and was like aware of, okay, now again, the same process. You had like 3 weeks holiday, and for the next year to have the next 3 weeks holiday, you have to go on the same thing in the morning, put your suit on and all this stuff. And it feels, I don't know, I feel not free really, and not really that I do the things I really want to do. And the techno scene in the beginning of the 90s, it was really just much more than just music and just going out to a club to dance. it was really just, yeah, a new lifestyle completely. And I was really keen and curious, and the wish to become a creative part of all this becomes stronger and stronger. And that moment, I decided with the money I've earned in my job to start as a hobby with it and see how far it would take me.
So it was not one specific moment, but just kind of a result of the whole.
Yes, of course, it was building up
Yeah.
slowly. But that moment, when I awoke after the holiday, I really decided to give it a try, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big hip hop fan from the mid 80s to the early 90s. Yeah, really. And then we started with 3 other guys, hip hop gang. So we started to producing hip hop music, and but that was the moment when techno was growing at the same time, and I was more into techno at that time as into hip hop, but I still was a part of that gang, and one of the guys had really much experience with synthesizers and samplers, and another guy has a bit experience with mixing with records and scratching and other things. And that was the moment I learned to work with these things. And then I realized this is what I want to do. This is I want to do my own music, and I want to do it in techno, in this genre, not in hip hop.
Mateusz.
On the heart.
Yeah, I really actually I don't remember the specific moment that I wanted to be a producer, but I do remember when I wanted to be a DJ, and it was I was about let's say I guess I was 14 years old, and I went to my first clubbing, and we were all, of course, the first ones in the club, and we were waiting for the DJ to come there. And actually, it was the first track that the DJ played, and everyone started dancing. It was the moment when I said to myself, "Oh wow, I want to be a DJ." As I said, I don't remember when I wanted to be a producer, but later on, when I listened to all the DJs that were playing in the clubs, and all the producers that brought them the records, it was the one specific moment I remember. It was later on when I first listened to Sven Fett, that maybe Frank
Yeah.
Frank of course knows, because Sven Fett is from Frankfurt.
Yeah.
It was actually this album that I bought later that actually made me somehow think about producing music. And there was also these guys who booked me a lot, and I was in their team as a resident, that they had a studio, and we were doing music together. Actually, I was learning from them, and that's how it started for me. And I guess it was from the moment that I started producing and to the moment that I released my first remix, it was, I guess, about 3 or 4 years, which is for nowadays really a lot of time.
Yes.
Because everyone wants to have a track out the next week, if not the next day. But at the time that I started producing, it was somehow of a natural process. Maybe Bruno and Frank can relate to that, or...
So you were talking about the moment you started to produce till you had your first release was how long? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same, 4 years. I mean, when I started, I always have to think about it, but I'm pretty sure it was 92, 93. And it took me 4 years, because you will remember also it was not that easy just to work with hardware, just because it was so expensive to get something. And you needed really a lot to have like a kind of professional sound. And I started with an Atari computer with 1 megabyte RAM. I could barely arrange only MIDI files for like 4 minutes long. Then I couldn't do it anymore, and I was surprised when I couldn't continue. And I found out, yeah, I have to upgrade my computer to another megabyte. Yeah, it's really it's crazy when you think about nowadays about it. And yeah, then I had a keyboard with just like 4 sounds, you know, like 4 voices. I mean, if I played like a lead or a pad, I couldn't use the drums anymore. So you need a drum machine or a sampler, which was 4,000 euro in the beginning of the 90s. And then you need a mixer, you need a recording session, you need effects. And it was, I don't know, 10, 15,000. Of course, you could do it cheaper, but yeah, to do it in a professional way, it was really hard and expensive. And you had no internet. So the way it took really long till you were able to learn by yourself or with the help of friends who were a little bit further to come forward, just to find out how this works, what you really want to do. So you couldn't go on YouTube and just check a video from another guy who is just doing it in a better way than you. So yeah, it took time. It took a long time. And it never stopped. You always had to it was involving the whole production process. It went more and more into computer technique, you know, and you had to be always very tight on the latest developments. Still,
yeah, but I about that, I have a question. How did the process when you had only hardware and now you have software?
Yeah.
How did it? How is the difference for you? How you start? How you?
When the first software came out, I quickly realized that it was not in the same quality. I was used to it from the hardware, so it took much longer time till I switched more and more to devices and the use of software stuff. First, it was more like effect stuff, but rather than like really synthesizer replacements, I still have here Nordlead 1 and Roland JP8000 and all this stuff. And of course, TB303 was one of the hardware machines I never really gave up on. Or thought, yeah, with the latest technique, it's not a problem to recreate cool asset, or also just with software, to be honest. Yeah, I can't really say, but it was a couple of years to make the full transition for me.
How about you, Bruno?
Yeah, in my case, it took a very long time from the moment I started producing music until my first release. I started producing music in 93, 94, and my first release came out in, I think it was in spring 2009.
Okay.
That was, yeah, I produced music until spring of 2000, and then something happened in my life what was not very cool at that moment. And then I was a few years really lost in the scene, just as a guy on parties, on raves, and I lost the interest to produce music at that time. But yeah, 2006 I started, and yeah, when I started in 93, I started also, as Frank said, with hardware machines. And when I did my restart, I call it restart, in 2006, there were a few really good plugins on the market. And so I was really quickly in this plugin and in this always all in the box thing. So, and it's easier to handle if you're working with plugins, and yeah.
Are we too far away from inspiration, Olivia?
No, I love it. I mean, that's actually, that's the way it should be, right? I mean, we start with a general topic. Usually this general topic should be as general as possible, because yeah, we really want you to give the room to you. So no, totally love that. Just maybe if we are in the topic of production so much, maybe can answer the one question we got from Justin for you, Frank, basically, but maybe we can also like do it a little bit more general, which was because just it's on vocals. The question is on vocals, and yeah, not everyone uses vocals the same way, and also not as frequently. But the question was specifically, yeah, for you, how do you choose the voice, the vocals? How do you? It's so weird to ask the question. But
Yeah, you're laughing. You should we reveal it right now?
why should I speak your vocals?
Yeah, well, the big change for me personally when electronic music created a kind of revolution in the music scene, and the clubs turned from pop music, Madonna on the dance floor, to straight DJ music, was also like a counterpart to pop music. That meant less vocals, less singing, less lyrics, replaced with maximum a phrase or a vocal or something like this. And I still stick to it in my own productions. I prefer to have some vocals because this is an additional expression to the whole song, and I really love it. And I always try to have it in a very unique way, in a really personal way. It means I'm not such a big fan of using samples from a sample CD or from sample libraries on the internet. I wouldn't say that I don't completely dismiss it, but first choice would be always have like an own vocal from somebody. And so I have always an open ear when I talk to people, to male and females. And I really recognized that Olivia had a really special voice. And I asked her if she would not be, if she would be ready to do something or to try something for me. And I know, like, me, why me? It was so funny, yeah.
Well,
And
the situation was funny as well.
yeah, where was it?
Going out, actually, we were just at like we had a fun night out, and then this was all a process and a result of the.
Yeah, like I said before, so inspiration can be just hanging up with somebody and have a talk. So I recognized at some moment, why not asking or try with Olivia? And it's really funny because we did a lot of tracks now together, and they belong already to my biggest success I ever had. So I owe you a lot.
It's maybe the result of just how, I mean, I like what you say about the personal aspect as well. I mean, that's all about making music, which is emotion in the end. And I think I truly believe in a kind of a result of a collaboration like that. I mean, collaboration can, I mean, it's a big word. I mean, you know, I'm just lending my voice, but collaboration can also be between two artists or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
It might be, I mean, the success of something like that can also be described as some sort of, yeah, fruitful collaboration, maybe friendship collaboration, whatever.
Yeah, sure. And it was like you remember when you were here and we were working together on the asset. Of course, it was also inspiring for me, or you gave me from yourself different options, yeah, you had in your mind. So, and it is much more for me effective to have somebody next to me and talking and trying out, try and error process, than to have like a sample which is already fixed and to have to make the work around it. You can influence it with some tools, of course, really dramatic already, but yeah, it's just different to have something which you can really, yeah, influence and bend a lot more than just a stiff sample.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully this answered Justin's question. Thank you for that.
Yeah, maybe I can. I have a question for you, Olivia. I was with you in the club when you heard the track that when Frank played it in Zurich. How was the feeling of you hearing your voice in the club, or if you were anywhere else in a, let's say, festival or in the bigger club? What were the feelings of that?
It's a really interesting question, yeah, because I didn't know. I mean, I was actually asking myself when I was thinking about that, like when the track was released. And the first time I heard it was in a very small club. Bruno knows it. And DJ Simple played it, Marcel, and it was really out of the blue, like in a very creative way. He just chipped it in. And I was with my friends, and this all reinforced the whole experience. I was kind of sad that Frank wasn't there, but it was so special because, yeah, you know that. I mean, usually you don't like hearing your voice. That's kind of the first reaction you get. And I tried to change that by listening to the track, but also to my own voice messages, for example. It was like a strategy I tried to exercise, kind of, because I said to myself, I should get over that, because otherwise I cannot improve, you know. And then when I heard the track in that club, it was really it triggered a lot of emotion, because the acid was really a strong track also for Frank and me in our, I think I can really say it's the result of a friendship, kind of friendship work. Yeah, and 100%. This is all, yeah, released in emotions when you hear it. So it was really, we were partying so much at the moment. It was really, really nice. Yes. A second time when we heard it was at Luminosity with my best friend. It was really also very, yeah, special experience when you can see all the people as well. So I was with my two best friends, and it was really a very intense experience as well, and something I still have to get used to it, you know. I mean, it gets, when Frank plays it and I'm there, it's kind of the biggest experience, I would say, because then we're together, I can dance while he is playing. So yeah, that's the moment where I even dance behind the DJ, which is something I never do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we could talk forever, but maybe we should come to an end. It's been an hour.
Oh wow.
Questions from the visitors now. Probably they came something up during our chat. Or
yeah, if there's anything you want to ask us, please do. Olivia, if you can check if anyone asks something.
Yes, I just checked the chat, because there is, I think, a question. Yeah, somebody said remember the...
Always is me. I have packed of questions, but I have sent it to you. But anyway, don't worry, it's okay. Just
I mean, that's
with that, because they were talking about the productions, not the process of inspiration. So they were talking about that. So I thought, okay, plugins and everything. I'm not a DJ, but no, I know this. But well, it's curiosity mainly, huh?
Yeah, but Laia, you can ask. Just
Sorry?
ask. Yeah, you just ask and we can answer.
Yeah, well, if I transmitted well the message, it's okay for you? Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. Really appreciate that. Well, I don't know. Well, it's this. If you have a favorite plugin shop or something, but how the question is how do you stay updated, no, regarding and finding the sound itself in your productions mainly, no, because we know that the Moog or the Ableton or well the other ways, I mean the equipment that you use, no, so you find a way and to choose the sound. Well, it's mainly that I don't know if I put it in the correct way or express it well in the chat, but anyway. Nope.
Yeah, maybe I can answer that for myself. It's actually, I don't really like to follow the ways that the DJs are or the producers are developing. I really try to stick to my own sound and try to develop my own sound. Yeah, of course, when you mentioned Moog and other plugins, it is the kind of way that we all incorporate in our productions, but somehow the sound or the feeling has to be our own. Yeah.
I think her question was more like if you like regularly check online if, for example, native instruments.
Yeah, the instruments, the drums, the hi-hat, all of that.
Yeah, something like this. And it's I don't do it, to be honest, because I have such a big network that automatically people text me, "Oh, Frank, have you tried this one? I just got this. This is so amazing. You have to check it out," or something like this. This happens constantly. And of course, sometimes you stumble accidentally over it, or you hear something in a production and you are able to ask the guy, "Hey, how did you do this? Where's this sound from? Or how did you create this effect?" And then you get an answer and it's like, "Oh yeah, I don't have that. I probably missed it." And then you check it out.
Yeah, because it's totally changing.
But some people, I know a lot of people who have a daily routine in the morning to check online what's the latest releases on plugins or hardware in the shops. This is yeah, but it's also not me. I'm my brain is always more to the creative stuff. I'm working right now on. And only if I find no solution, probably I ask a little bit around and say like, "Hey, I can't do this the way I want. Do you have an advice how I could do it?"
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's more important to have a few tools, not that much, so just a few tools, but you have to you know how to use it.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
But I have to say this. It is also when I stuck with inspiration, sometimes I really just check out a new synthesizer or a new plugin and go through the try and error process, and I found something new. So a new plugin can be a positive trigger, 100%. Yeah. Back to the topic.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, maybe we can just round it off. What do you think? Maybe if anybody has any question, of course, feel free to ask. You can always send them later on as well. We're trying to integrate them as well. But yeah, I think we had some very interesting input, information. Thank you for that. I just want you guys, maybe you have something to say to everybody. So feel free to send some, I don't know, wishes, whatever.
Yeah, maybe I just have to say, please never stop dancing.
No.
Trevor has a question.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, hi Bruno.
Hi Trevor.
You know, I've already told you on Messenger that I really like your productions, and
thank you very much.
I've only been really getting into progressive the last year and a half, I've always been into trance music. Like Paul van Dyk's always been a hero of mine, but I can hear your techno and your acid house influenced in your tracks, especially the like Beautiful Body and Consecutive. But when I heard the Golden Age, that track is amazing, man. Honest to God, it's
Thank you.
I've played it a couple of times. But I'd like to ask you, do you get a sound in your head and then kind of know which sound you're looking for on a synthesizer, or do you search for it on the synthesizer first, or do you get like a thought of a little melody going on in your mind and then you think, yeah, I can work with this, or do you practice?
Yeah, when I have a specific idea of the sound in my head, so then I really, yeah, I exactly, yeah, in most of cases, I really exactly know which tool I have to use for that. But sometimes it's really, as Frank said, so it's trial and error. So I clicking through the presets, the melody is running and I'm clicking through the presets, and yeah, on some point it sounds good and that's it.
And one more little one before I go, because I normally stream on a Sunday night myself on Twitch. So do you start with the melody, or do you start with a bass beat, or do you work from the melody and then add a bass beat?
It's depending of the idea. So when I have the melody in my mind, so then I, of course, I start with the melody, but I do really fast a simple basement of rhythm tools, kick drum, snare, hi-hats. So just to come into the groove. But when I have from the beginning the melody in my mind, so then I start with the melody.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Nice, thank you. Frank, there's another question for you from Fabrizio. Maybe I can just read it. Did you see the chat as well?
I see. You mean the last one, right?
Yes, it's on your
absolutely
303. Yes.
Energy, especially the way you use the 303. You rely mainly on hardware or software in your productions. Yeah, I mentioned that before. I started actually on hardware. I still have a lot of hardware around. I moved for comfortable reasons many years ago more and more to software. I would say at the moment it's about 80% software, but still have my favorites. I always try to bring back into production and use the hardware as well. And with the TB303, you can believe me, I tried all the machines I could take my hands on, hardware or software, and it's always a challenge for me to find out which machine created the most evil sound in terms of laying on top distortions or weird effects or anything. I tried them all, and I will always do this. Yeah, thank you for the compliment, though. And you ask for if we have to say something at the end, or for the people, might be a cliche, but yeah, I really have to thank everybody who is supporting us in that really outstanding times in a negative way, because it gives us still fuel and energy to keep on going. It's not, I know a lot of colleagues who struggled during this period, and they really don't know how to continue because it had such a hard negative impact on them. And myself, I do fine, and I really appreciate all positive comments on the socials, and I really like this, that people are still so supportive and really feel that the whole scene has to stick together in a way till we can go back to a kind of normal time.
And that we need you guys.
Yeah, we belong together. It's one universe. The one can't be without the other, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had Crocy and said, yeah, never stop dancing. We won't.
Yeah, right.
Please never.
Definitely. Okay, Bruno, some last words.
No. So,
Okay, it's all right.
Just a happy Bruno should be fine. Okay.
Yeah. No, thanks for being a part of Shiny People, all listeners here, and I'm very happy that I'm a part too of Shiny People, and thank you, Olivia, for your really great job you're doing for
Yeah.
whole project.
Exactly what Bruno said.
Yes. Thank you.
It wouldn't be the same without you, so we all need each other. So thank you. Thanks for everybody who was joining, and also who interest and your questions, contributions means a lot. Okay, thanks guys. Have a great time. See you in 1 month. We're planning on having a passion talks every first Sunday a month. Subject to change, but that's the plan. All right.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.
You too. Ich bin noch da.
Ich weiß. Warte.